So, how are things, Gabrielle?
Well, it's Gabriella.
Didn't I say Gabriella right now?
No,
or did I mumble it?
You mumbled my name again.
I mumbled. So, remember when I was doing those voice warm-ups?
Yes.
I should have done more of them?
I think you should have,
Okay.
yeah.
So, how are things, Gabriella?
Things are great.
Great.
That's
Okay.
the end of the. No, I'm kidding.
Good. And that was another episode of...
No, I think, okay, so let's see. I guess I'm also in this one because I have a mic.
Yeah, so are you not going to put on Gabriella at all? Are we not going to do Gabriella's face at all?
No.
She's a mystery. So Gabriella is our new...
Sales associate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. So
new face, new talents,
new year, new me.
New year, yeah. For Abby,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And so Gabriella, how do you like it so far?
I love it. I'm having a really good time, like learning the ropes and understanding everything from like top to bottom of the process of flooring and interior design, like where you kind of start with it.
Yeah,
you know?
it's kind of fun though too, right?
Yeah,
you kind of get to do a little like there are so many different facets of the industry.
For sure, there are way more than I had anticipated, and there's a lot to keep track, like a lot of things to keep track of and remember. But
yeah, and then it makes you think of like, how do I do it? Like,
yeah, how are you like literally a walking Google search engine? Like, yeah,
it's time and material all in here, right? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fun, and I've had fun working with you so far. I mean, so what industry did you come from before?
So I came from like film production. Yeah, I was a production coordinator, and it was dealt with a lot of similar things of like production and from start to finish of a project. So.
Okay. And so how long were you in that industry?
Oh, I was there for a little over, I want to say 7 years,
7
I
years.
think now.
And what drew you to that industry?
I wanted something that was active and on my feet and working with people. And also just, film is a very fun, like, thing that everybody likes. Who
Right.
doesn't like to watch movies, who doesn't like to watch,
Right.
Something.
Yeah,
so.
the arts, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, I mean, it's the dealing with customers and the being active and on your feet kind of go hand in hand with this, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah, and the constant movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Constant movement, which is good.
Yeah, it definitely keeps you stimulated mentally, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So you said you liked it so far, or you hate it so far? I don't remember.
I really like it so far. You make it fun too.
Not just because I'm here.
Yes.
You can do a separate interview without me here and say everything you want to say.
I would say
tell you about this guy.
I would say the same thing.
No, I'm just joking. No, but so thank you. I appreciate it because I have fun working with you as well. And like, there's something you can tell about someone being able to work with them. Like, like we won't have to work closely together, but we do work closely together, type of thing.
Right.
And you're kind of you're starting to. I'm seeing that you're starting to gauge that you're like, oh, I'm more on my own than this. Like, I'm more on my own. It's more independent. It's more like, and then you have the freedom to kind of set your own tone.
Yes.
And so, I mean, is that something you really like to do? I mean, like, because it's kind of like a beat at your own drum.
Yeah, I think working at, being able to kind of like work at your own pace, as fast as you want to go, or kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're good. I guess if I'm also ask
Go ahead. No,
questions.
yeah, go. Yeah, no, that's what we're all here for.
Yes, I think, was there anything about flooring specifically that drew you to this position, or in general, like what was your kind of mindset like, just switching from like in industry and gaining so much experience just being around that environment. Now switching over to coming to a carpet store and going to these job sites and managing projects of different, literally of just a different scope.
Yeah, I mean, so coming from film and then like film production where it's like the start to finish, and here at at the shop where it's like you go into a site and you're doing like the measuring the spot, and it's like from start to finish where you are like really seeing this production through. Working with multiple teams is cool. I like that installers, like that you're really seeing it happen from like the very beginning stages.
Right, from the ground up.
From literally
right?
the ground up,
Yeah.
And it's like cool to see the spaces that have like transformed, like coming back to them, and people are excited. Like that's like it's like good energy. People are doing home improvements, like.
Yeah, and well, that was one thing I said to the lady that was in here earlier. I forget what her name, but I said, well, you only do the floors twice in your life, really, and we want to be one of those 2 times or both of those 2 times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because it's a huge remodel. Whether it looks like it's not.
It's a production.
It is a production.
It's a big production,
right?
yeah.
And it's something that you don't think about. And there are so many times where people have like a hesitation to do these types of projects because it takes a lot to do it.
Right. It's a daunting.
It is very. and so if you are able to present it in a competent way, that's the most important thing. That, hey, this is not as bad as it seems, or this is something that is attainable. Mm-hmm. The house we were just in, okay?
Yeah.
What did they said it was at the end of the deal? They said, oh, we thought it was going to be 10 times more than that.
Right.
They literally said that we thought it was going to be 10 times more than that. And I said, and I made a joke to them at the end. I go, oh, I can add a couple zeros. And they go, no, shush. You're like, they go, we'll keep that price, and I'm teasing with them, but I mean, they understood from seeing everything and what could be done, that it's actually more reasonable, it's more affordable, and it's something that they could do, make a quick facelift in their home to be comfortable. Because a lot of times, and the carpet is a good carpet, it's for their level of comfort, so they can live better. And that's something I really like too, because we're actually providing them with a quality of life that we don't even think about, or a lot of people don't think about. It adds to their quality of life, because then they're like, oh man, you know what I mean? I could sit on the floor now. I can read on the floor. I can chill out on the floor, and it's comfortable down here now. Versus, and then they take more care into things, and so it's something to me that it's like you're making people happy.
Yes.
You're bringing.
Well, and you're creating their life. You're helping create their like lifestyle. So it's,
exactly.
Dreamy and.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, exactly. And then and that was a small project, So you think about it on a larger scale when you get the bigger projects and then you're even more involved, and you have to, and there are more factors, that you have to consider, and those things are fun, and then you're doing even more into it, and so it's like one of those things that like I always think like that's why I like it, mm-hmm. And it's one of those things that I've just been doing so long now, and it makes me happier helping, and it's like I'm helping people.
Yeah.
I think it's really what I feel like it is.
You're helping people and giving them like a great experience when you're doing it.
We're helping people now, Gabriella.
We are. We are, Stephen.
Yes, right. Well, yeah. So, yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, like you're already getting people in a vulnerable place as it is, right? You're going into their home. That's not the only thing we do. We go into commercial projects as well, mm-hmm. But for the majority of the time, we're going into someone's home, and it's a vulnerable place because it's their inner sanctum. You know what I mean? It's like something very personal to them.
Absolutely.
You know, where this house they inherited from their mother. You know, so it's a house they grew up in, type of thing. And so that's a personal thing that they like are holding dear, and they're choosing us to do a renovation in their home. And so that's pretty dope. Like, if you think about it, like, long of it, like, it's pretty dope.
Right.
You know, like, you're being invited into the home that they might have grown up in. You know, they just got married, and we're going in, and, like, this is their starter home, something like that. And then they're choosing us to work on their home. Or they've been there for 20 years, and, you know, the husband and wife are just like, you know, it's time we fully remodel our home. And they're choosing us. And so that's where I really like those things. It's, yeah.
I'm trying to think about, I guess, also, not only responsibility, but I guess before I go on to my other question, just to add on to your thing too, it's also like it's a big purchase. Home's a big purchase, as well as flooring. So
Yeah.
no wonder you would be very like hesitant to pick the right people or even choose to do something in the first place.
Right.
Even if it like, even if the hesitancy comes with like, oh, there's a possibility that it can improve your lifestyle, but might be risky. That's introducing that risk can be a little bit scary for people.
Yeah, it really can. Yeah. So
I guess my next question then is also, I guess, directed to the both of you. Now we're in a situation where it's interesting. You have someone with like, I guess both of us technically, virtually no flooring experience, and then you've kind of had a huge background in it, from installation, and now like managing a team, to running your own carpet store in the past, and now here. I guess was there anything about just this particular occupation that like you didn't expect at all going into it? And like you can even speak to this too, when you first got into it. Was there anything that you like that just caught you off guard, or something that you didn't think or anticipate would be a big part in this industry?
The biggest part to me is something we kind of mentioned, like it was the pace.
Yeah.
And it's what you get in, what you get out of it. Whatever you put into it, you can get out of it. So if you don't put your best foot forward, you're not gonna. I don't feel like you'll get the best work out of it. And it goes all the way down the line, from the product to the salesperson to the management coordination team to the installers, and then it has to go full circle in that. And so those are things that like I could kind of compartmentalize before. And because I was managing, but I already had...
You knew the process in and out.
I knew the process in and out.
You literally came from one side of it.
But I started, exactly. So yeah. I came from, and so with starting from installing or helping my father, you know, I came from like the very bottom and worked my way all the way through it. So I learned, and the pace didn't change at all. So like it didn't slow down. It's just a different. It's just a different. Yeah, exactly. It's just a different bag, and that's it. But the pace didn't slow down, because you still want to have a steady production flow. You still want to have a constant income of customers, and you want to adapt and be able to be pliable on how you obtain customers, which is the same thing from an installation standpoint, but it's as fast as you want to go or as slow as you want to go. And then you know what you'll get and what you won't. You see it from start to finish, all the way around. Are you surprised by how fast it moves sometimes? I
definitely am. I think like the turnover too of just like depending on how complicated a project is, like an install. But just that like, I'm also surprised when you go into a situation and like, I mean, Steven, you've been able to like identify a lot of things that issues where, potential asbestos or something.
Yeah.
The basement, the house.
Yeah, it's heavy as the head. it's like, and I swear to you, someday if there was like a program that could sense it for you immediately, like when you walk into a place, or if there was some way to get that like compartment out, like I would take it.
Yeah.
Like I told you the other day when we were driving, and I said, GPS has emptied a portion of the junk drawer in my brain and has made it so I can put more junk in there. And so like not having GPS before, because we used to have to look up everything on maps.
Oh yeah, you did exist before that.
I know. Ow!
Oh my God.
Ow!
I mean, I even remember.
I didn't realize. Yeah.
I even remember the age of MapQuest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I barely remember MapQuest. I remember my parents would print out stuff when we had to go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So exactly, yeah. You didn't get anywhere without MapQuest, right?
Yeah.
And then before MapQuest, there was the Tomage guides, which was a book that you had to look up grid. Like everything was set up in a grid form, and you knew the name of the street you were going to, so you had to map it out by looking through grids of cities. Yes.
I didn't even realize, because you do have to go to the job site, right? And so,
Yes.
Oh my God.
So when I was
Trying to just get to the job site in itself.
Dude, exactly. You got to get to. I'm the first one at the job site because I'm doing the sell of it. So then you have to make sure you have all the installers. You give them the guide of how I got there. This is the fastest way. Don't turn left at the 7-Eleven, because then you'll it's a dead end. You have to do this. There's always traffic there, something like that. You know what I mean? You're giving them advice. No, now it's like this. You just dial it in. Your phone's like telling you accident 2 miles ahead, and you're like, oh, I will not go that way now.
Yeah.
And so
I'll start
it's
to
like,
slow down.
yeah. And it's all telling you when there's like a speed check or whatever it is, and you're like, okay, yeah, I won't go there either. And so those things like have made my life easier, and like now I can just add to the jump.
Okay. I don't want to. This could so easily go back to like the second episode where we talked about.
What episode? What episode what are you talking about? There was a second episode?
Oh, that's crazy. In my imagination, yes, but there's this could have easily. I don't want to.
The hidden episode.
This could go back to the hidden gem episode.
Yep.
We talk about technology again, and now that you brought up MapQuest, and I completely forgot about that aspect of that history, really. But I think I kind of want to focus more on I guess, getting into sales as well, because that's also something that I've expressed interest in.
Yeah.
We talked about it off camera and stuff.
Well, Gabriella, what got you interested in sales? Then let's ask you that. What got you interested in sales, like being an opportunity? And it could be completely just what got you into sales.
I wanted to continue working with people like face to face. I think during, even though I was on film production prior, there was still a lot of moments of like just remote work or working from home, and I wanted to do something that was like working closely with other people, other teams, and that was like face to face value and
more hands-on, right?
And also, I mean, I'm really passionate about like I'm tactile. I love textiles. I love everything from like the start to the finish, different colorways, the prints, or and I don't know. So this job is actually like I get to talk about something that I actually am very passionate about. So and that I like and that I enjoy.
Well, yeah, it's kind of cool because it's like you don't, like you had said, you don't think of all these different things that this entails. Like, so when you were hired on, you're hired as a sales associate.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait. You're like, pump your brakes. You're like, you don't just sell for me to me. You know what I mean? No, you're like, oh, there's like, I have to show the carpet. I have to believe in this product. I have to know about this product. Yes. And then it's like you're right with the customer because, again, this is an important move in their life. For majority of the time, it's an important step.
Yeah.
You know? And so it is, and you're working with people now. And I can see you like working with people. I told you right away. I told you right away. I was like, yeah, you can tell There was a person that I worked with that wanted to be a salesperson years back. Okay. And I had said, this person will not work out as a salesperson. It wasn't because I'm Nostradamus or I know so much about everything, but it's because that person was not a people person. And I said, how do you expect to do this when you're not a people person? You're not friendly. And if you're and it's really seriously like I said to you, MJ, I go like this. I said you'd be fine. You'd be great, you know, just because you're a friendly person. You have to be able to stand in a room with someone and
Want to know them at least.
and want to, because you're helping them
curious
choose.
about them. Just ask questions.
Yeah, ask questions. Like, because the first thing you do with a person, and this is, I'm not going to give away secrets, but like the first thing you do is like you got to figure out what color they're looking for, right? So you have to. That's an investigation question.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean. So the first thing you do, and I talked to you about this the other day. You have to have these. You have to have these, and they're not lines. They're genuine question. Like whenever every sales, like, you know, you'll hear these sales gurus and all this and that. Oh, you gotta have this line or this story or this and that. I hate that crap. I hate it because it's like this. No, we really want to know because we have to know. We don't want to just tell you, no, this is the brown piece of carpet you're gonna go with. Brown, brown, brown. That's all you're gonna do. Mm-hmm. What if they're looking for purple? We don't know. If I don't ask the questions, but if I just think I know everything, no, you just want the brown. You just want the brown. You know?
Yeah.
You're investigating the entire time. You're finding out information on these people. And so you're getting more personal than you would in a lot of different sales types of jobs.
Right.
I had a solar installed on my roof, which I'm so upset about.
Wait, why again?
Why am I upset about it?
Yeah.
Ooh, let's go into it. No, I don't. Because that company got a bad review already. And I don't like writing reviews. And I didn't write a review, but no, I left them multiple voicemails telling them how unhappy I am with them. Mm-hmm. And the salesperson is basically just like this. He tried to sell me in a way, not knowing I was in sales. He tried to sell me in a way, it was like, you just need this. You just need this. And I was like, nah, I don't. I mean, I was planning on doing it. I was planning on going solar. And the convenience of him showing up to my door and being a door-to-door salesman selling solar was just, I was off of work that day. I was ready to go. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, we can do it. We can do this let's do a prelim. His only job was to just sell. Did not give a damn. He could ask investigation questions like, but all he needed to do was look at my bill and see how much I spent per month. And he'd be like, well, I don't see a jacuzzi in the backyard, so why is, your electricity so high? Or you don't have an electric car, so are you charging a car? Or do you plan on getting an electric car? So, you might need to consider solar because you'll get better rates on your electricity and all this and that. He doesn't give a damn. He didn't care at all. Did not ask me one question like that. Little did he know, I'm driving a dang Prius now. Little did he know that I'm getting a dang hot tub because summer is coming and it's hot tub season. Excuse me. But he didn't do any investigation questions. All he did was look at my bill and just look at dollar signs essentially. And I hate that tactic. I despise it. And that's why I said you would work here well, Gabriella, because you aren't pushing one thing. You're like, I like this color, but you're like, this is good too,
What's practical?
Yeah, it's like...
What are you looking for?
Because you can go in and say, no, the most expensive carpet is the best carpet in the world. But it's not. It's not. Let's just be honest about it. The most expensive carpet doesn't make it better.
Not at all.
And that's the one thing. But yes, there is a difference between quality carpet and bad carpet. There is. There's a difference. But the most expensive carpet in the world, is not for everybody. It's for a certain demographic. And it's not for me. because I mean I have a dog, you know, and if it's usually really expensive carpets are wool, and you know, and so dog drool on wool carpets doesn't come out so well, and I know that. So if a person tells me, you know, what's a good carpet for dogs, I'm not going to tell them get the dang wool carpet, you know, and but the thing is, with that salesperson that was selling me the solar, I would have had damn wool carpet from this guy. You know what I mean? And he would have sold me wool carpet for my dog, essentially.
Right.
And I can't live with that, doing that to someone else.
Yeah.
And it seems like you have that in you too. You're like, no, what's practical? And then you said a great word for it, because it is. It's like, what works for you? Because what works for you might not work for me, might not work for MJ.
Yeah, I want it a good design and be functional, and I want it to last. I think that most people are probably along those lines too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But people are interesting, and I like getting to know people. So, you know, that's what's also really fun about working here is that people come in and you get to kind of like get to know them.
You kind of really don't know who's. You kind of do know who's walking through, but you never really know who's walking through.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone has a story. You know what I mean? Everyone has a story, so it's like all these different... you don't know.
When I genuinely like people. Like, I genuinely and generally like people, and I like to get to know them.
And I can tell.
I like to hear their stories.
And people that don't like people shouldn't be in this industry. Like, all the installers we have, they like people.
Yeah.
They all have their friends they all hang out with and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of the installers that I've worked with, like they all, you know, I've known them for so long. You know, it's like I know, you know, what their kids are up to, like what their wife's making for dinner type of thing, if their wife's making dinner, if their wife's on vacation with their girlfriends, whatever, you know what I mean, and they're able to go out and hang out with their buddies or whatever. I know all these things, like, and so it's like we all like people. And you can't have an installer that doesn't... Funny enough, I just thought of this. I had one installer, and not gonna name names. He was the worst person ever. He was the best installer I had ever met. And he did not like people. He would be like, don't talk to me. He would tell customers, and I couldn't work with him any longer. Because he would tell customers, legitimately, don't talk to me. And I'm like, did you say that to my customer? You're in their house. You're going to have to use their bathroom maybe, dude. You know? And he's like, no, he's like, I'll go down the street to go to the bathroom. I just don't want to be talked to. Just let me work.
That's intense.
It was really intense. Imagine that. And for some reason, he would talk to me for an hour at a dang time, and it would be about nonsense, and I couldn't relate to him because I didn't know anything personal about the guy, because he wouldn't talk to anybody. He would just explain the job for 1, maybe 2 hours sometimes to me. And I'd be like, okay. But there would be nothing personal, so I didn't know anything about him. Mm-hmm. And I'd never know anything about him. It was weird. So anyway. Yeah. So we all like people. Yeah.
MJ, you like people, right?
He hates them.
No, it's I think overall I do. I don't know. It's kind of. I feel like it's weird sometimes, especially just because of. I feel like in my generation, just because I can easily be so overstimulated and overwhelmed with what I see.
Yeah.
Of what you see.
Or like, because I could just go on my phone and like engage that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or disengage that way, really.
Disengage,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because keep going.
And but I don't know. It's definitely. I feel like I've had an interesting upbringing because I feel like if I hadn't had the life I had, I probably wouldn't talk to people. I went to boarding school like in high school, and like one of their big things was like they basically like had our phones.
Yeah.
So
was it out of town boarding school?
East Palo Alto.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
So I was
What was the name of it?
Eastside College Prep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Good for you. Okay. Good for you.
But yeah, like their policy was like for us is like no phones throughout the day. You can only get it after you're done with your homework.
Yep.
And like our school was like from 8 to 5.
Good.
then like we had dinner, and then 6 to 8 was like homework time. However long, as long as you got it done. If it wasn't at 8, then you didn't have a phone.
Yeah.
Use it on that day, yeah.
Well, that's perfect though.
Yeah.
Because they made you in today's day and age where people can be, you can really live your entire life right now. And I mean, Gabriella, we can talk
Behind
about
a screen.
this. Like you can live your life not just behind a screen, but without talking to people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you don't have to interact with anyone nowadays, which I would go absolutely insane because we all know I talk a little bit.
Luckily, you are interesting and
God.
funny.
I know. Wouldn't that be such a pain in the butt when you just have I think about that often. Like sometimes I'm like, are people just telling me that like I you know what I mean? That I have this, like that I have good stories just to humor me to get me to shut up. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I would just tell you to shut up.
okay, thank you. So I mean, like with my son, it was funny because like I told you about my son. Like he could be in the age of like totally shut down and everything, but instead of him being just like total closed, he is a great conversationalist.
Yeah.
And at his age is not that. There's not a lot of people, like, he can totally shut down. And he doesn't have to. You know, he can live his life all on his phone. I pay for it. Yeah. I could, you know what I mean? He doesn't have to talk to anybody.
I mean, that's what, during the shutdown, during the pandy, that sucked. It was too easy to just like I feel like I became a recluse at some point, and I was just like I'm so used to not talking or like not really chatting with people, and it drove me crazy.
Yeah, and that's when a lot of people like bought. That's why a lot of people bought like pets and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's why the animal shelters were like empty.
It was great.
You know, yeah.
Then they had someone to talk to.
I'll tell you this. So yeah, exactly. They all of a sudden realize they're like, I need someone to talk to. Just they don't talk back.
Yeah, it's but at least it's a living creature now, and it's not my wall or like my plant, my snake plant.
Those wall talks are horrible. You know, like, right, MJ? I mean, how many wall talks have you had today?
A long conversation. A long conversation with these guys. Man.
Right, exactly.
They're here for me now.
Right, there you go. They listen, right? They're really good listeners.
Yeah.
But going back to it, it's like that's why remote work or like sitting behind a screen or not having to like engage with people other than through like Zoom or something was just like no, like that. I'm like done with that. Like
it's taxing.
I can't.
It's taxing mentally, and because you're not getting to see the end result though either.
Totally.
Yeah, it's just like there's no credit. It doesn't feel like you did anything, and there's a sense of like. So that's really what I like to have, a sense of accomplishment, and I could see it in you too, and I really do. And this isn't like to just build you up, no. And that's why it worked out well. Like when I told you, oh, you made your first order, you know what I mean, and you were like, yay, and I was like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? And, you know, and then you can see that you could see it in your face that you like the sense of accomplishment. And so those are big things for people where if you're just typing away, and I was gonna do this like hi, I don't even type well. I don't even type that fast. Okay, let's be real about it. But you can you get that sense of accomplishment that like I did good. You know? And everybody wants that I did good, even though they don't say it. And there are some people that will hide behind all those things because they don't want to have the bad times or that I messed up. But you got to put yourself out there in a position because there are jobs you won't get.
Yeah.
There are jobs, and then it won't be I did bad. You won't get down on yourself. You know, you'll go back to the time where I did good because the next one could be good. And those little baby steps of accomplishments along the way every day make your day.
Yeah.
You know, so you're just like you're really just helping people, and you're just like, I don't know. I mean I do know. I like it. It's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It's engaging.
Yeah, it's so, and we could make it impersonal. We can make it very impersonal. There are stores that do.
No, I like it, but again, like
no,
I like
I'm
getting
saying,
to know. Yeah. I like getting to know people. I like hearing what they're doing. Like, you know, And hearing like the backstory, you just like inadvertently find like you just correspond with like a person coming in. You're like, oh, cool, like you're showing me your beach house, you know, and you're getting new floors and. Oh yeah, you hand picked out this tile and you know, and this cool lady for their place in Dillon Beach that they've had for like 20 years, and you know they raised like their kids there, and you know it's like interesting people are interesting people, and it's pretty much every person.
And it's also like I think we had a conversation about this with the salesperson who was here before, Brett. It kind of was like along the same lines as well, but I think generally what I think I kind of see this like with both of y'all as well, not only talking about the sense of accomplishment, but also being a part of the client's journey. And like you brought that up as well, just being in, you've been a part of their lives, not only in terms of flooring, but like you would like to maintain relationships, you know, just beyond that professionalism.
Yeah.
Because it's a really like personal thing, and I don't know necessarily where that stems from, but I just that's just something I observed. It's like
thank you. And you know, and I don't know, I don't know where it stems from either, but it's just like I think it's maybe I heard Good Boy one time. And I liked it because I did good, and then I wanted it again. You know what I mean? Like that's simple. No, but you know what I mean? Like I.
No, but it's not just like doing a good job. But
no, I know. I was just making a leg. Yeah. But yeah, this industry it's changed dramatically. This industry has changed dramatically. Where we talked about it before. Everything is online. The customer is smarter than the customer's ever been before. And I said the same thing to you this morning. They're smarter, they're more educated than they've ever been. They have a phone too, just the same way we do. Okay? They can do all their research. They can and to keep advancing within this industry and keep on moving forward and still maintain the same level of like dedication to it and being and customer service is challenging. But I was adaptable like nothing. For some reason, it's just I've been able to just keep on, and there's still new things that make me excited, and then there's still new challenges that I like diving into, and it's been I don't know where it stems from.
I think the only experience that I kind of have is like going to conventions.
Right, which those conventions, how did you like that? Tell me truth. Should I say truth? Truth serum. Truth serum. No.
Where's the microphone?
You can say.
I'll say it. I'll figure out whether to cut it or not. But I think, So, no, I think it's just very interesting. Like it's a very different conversation when you go to conventions, or at least there's a different agenda going on. Because I think what's being discussed right now, that's not something that. A lot of the business heads at the conventions necessarily bring up.
Yeah,
like,
they don't.
Like the meeting, it's either driven by like profits or driven about like how can you like this is the new vendor that's gonna sell, like that's kind of the consistent thing. So,
it's.
And I was just trying to see if I can answer your point about like the industry changing. I wonder how.
No, you did make a good point though, because a lot of the industry standard of people that are, the hierarchy of the industry, they haven't changed. They don't think of it that way. And then you go to these conventions, and then what happens?
It's the same.
You know what I mean?
It's not the same.
People do have an agenda. It's buy my stuff. But I don't have that relationship with any of the reps I use. Any of the vendors that I use, I don't have my relationship like where they want to just buy my stuff. That's it. I don't have the relationship, and I wouldn't have a relationship with it if it was that way. And I have no problem taking a display and moving it out of the store. And it's not because I don't like that person anymore. It's not because if the product doesn't like it, I don't think it's cute. You know what I mean, or something like that. If the rep doesn't service the store well, and if they're just say, hey, just buy this. Well, why should I buy your product?
Yeah.
You know, why should we sell your product? You know, if it's just that's just the arrangement, then there's no point. Because there are thousands of different carpet companies out there that do the same thing that you would do or you would do, you know? And so I'm the best carpet around game that was going for so long with a lot of these people. Like I said, everybody's educated now. So you're just doing yourself a disservice by not having just the best stuff. Yeah, because the old heads don't always have it. They don't have the best stuff. You know, they just have a mind frame of they're needed because yes, people do need floors, right?
Right.
Can we agree with that?
Yes, definitely.
You
I
know.
noticed the shift to like towards hard surfaces generally, especially at Abbey.
Yeah.
It's like a carpet store.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's just me not having enough experience to like see that like a corporate like entity based on carpet is like purely advocating hard surfaces and not like talking about the newest in carpet or things like that. It's all about the newest in hardwood or tile or vinyl, which I don't, you know, there's not like, I'm not throwing shade to any of those things, but it's just something that I saw.
Oh my God. But so like to speak to that, it is like calming, and I have so enjoyed like walking over to like the prestige, you know, aisle that we have, like that display that we have, and just like feeling those like wool carpets that we have with like even the ones mixed with poly silk, even though they might be harder to clean, but I just like, I'm obsessed. I think I would have my whole home in like one of those like wool Berber like. Those are amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you know the pendulum always swings, and I think that I have a feeling that there might be a trend that it's going to go back to that. It's just to like carpeting, like up for the upstairs or something, especially with people being home a lot more now, and to help with the noise. And I think that like they want to invest in it. Like I know people are kind of getting out there and traveling again, but. At the end of the day, I think it's like nesting, and it's like worth putting your money into something like that.
So so you're right. I mean, no, you're 100% right. What the way you described it, because people are going to invest more, and it is swinging because you do see a lot of different products coming out wood-wise, right? But it's flooding the market. You see fewer and fewer newer carpet products come out for some reason. Well, all that's going to do, in my eyes, is going to be, and I don't know if I want this out there being public knowledge, but because I just think of forecasting things, well, you create a scarcity, and they might be doing it intentionally. The mills might be doing it very intentionally, saying, I'm not going to make more carpet, I'm going to invest more in wood, and the wood will be more readily available, right? And then all of a sudden the carpet will be the coveted, the prodigal son that we all need to bring in. And so I see stuff like that. Because what happens at the, so like a lot of these companies will do stuff like that without saying, they're tongue-in-cheek or winking at you while they're doing it, you know what I mean? But no one else is going to call them out on it. Well, I am here today to call you all out on it. No, I'm sure. Right. I'll call them out. But yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. I don't know if you had another question to ask, but I was thinking of covering. I guess this is already transitioning into the things we hate about the flooring industry, because I feel like that might be an interesting part, at least a final part for this conversation.
Yeah. When did you start with Gabriella? What do you dislike about the flooring industry? Is that it's on the ground?
Thinking about the job too.
Yeah, you can tell and be honest. Because this is a podcast honesty. That will be the headline for this podcast.
I think we could have more snacks, which you said we could.
Oh, I know. I did screw up and not get snacks.
Oh, Yeah.
That's it.
MJ.
That's like,
MJ, don't co-sign her stuff, MJ.
no.
I messed up
As I'm
once.
sipping my soup.
Yeah.
Did you see him take it? He did take a swing. He's like, that's messed up. Like,
No, we actually do. We actually do have a lot of
he's
snacks.
like, you don't get snacks? Sorry.
No, actually, we do have a lot of snacks. I haven't seen I don't know if I have seen anything yet that is like the downside of it. I mean, I'm gonna imagine, you might cut this, but I'm gonna imagine it's probably, it's gonna suck when you deal with like a customer who tries to screw you over.
Meanie?
Yeah,
Meanie
meanie. A
McMeanerson.
meanie, yes, exactly.
Well, it sucks for those things bug me.
Yeah.
Those things bug me. If
But I
there's
guess it's
someone
the
that,
industry.
if there's someone that there's every industry that happens.
Every
and
industry.
Every industry. But because we are, and it's like you can have a customer that you built a good relationship with, and you built a rapport with, and you think like, oh, this customer is just the greatest. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, that customer is like, not
The nightmare of your dreams.
It's they're complaining about things that you didn't do, and complaining about things that that you did do right, but to them they didn't like the way the right way is. But it's all about like explain. And so the best way to combat those things, because we were on a job recently where there was a discrepancy from a husband and wife. Okay.
Yeah.
What the husband wanted, what the wife wanted. So everything was in writing. Okay. Every description was in writing, and this is where having things in writing really helps. Mm-hmm. So when you have things in writing, that's your bag of ammo, okay? And they can't argue it because you already defended yourself, and it makes it easier for you to it makes it easier for you to defend yourself. Let's just put it that way. And so you'll get those, and that will happen constantly. And that's actually my least favorite part of the job too, because I hate having it, because then to me it makes me feel like I'm not trying to be a bad guy or a jerk about anything. I just really want to help. I really wanted to do this to help you, and if this isn't helping you, and or if I did go above and beyond for you, and then you're taking advantage of me going above and beyond, which you'll get that too. You'll have certain customers that'll want to throw certain things in for free.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. You can't do that. But if a person says, "Hey, can I have a little 6-inch by 6-inch sample?" Yes, you can have that sample for free. That's not the issue. But if a person's like, I need this 12 by 12 area rug, for free. Because you just did the rest of my house. I'm like, well, that's...
You mind giving me that little present?
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're not going steady. It's like, what the heck? Gosh, could you imagine if that's how I gifted, like, my dates? Like, I gifted my dates area rugs. Like, instead of a bouquet of roses or whatever, like, you know what I mean?
That would be...
I'm like, here you go, and I roll it out for them.
That would be amazing.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Like a red carpet every time I pick them up? I had the thought, like, what if I did that? A red carpet rolled out every time I go to pick her up?
Yeah.
Here you go, hon. Just for you.
Here's a hand-woven one.
Yeah, right? And it's a different one every time, though, too.
Yeah.
This one's hand-woven. This one is from, what do we see, yak wool?
Yeah, this one's made of yak wool.
Yeah. And she's like, what's yak wool? And I was like, I don't know. And I'm like...
This just came in this morning.
You're right, there you go. Yeah, exactly. No, but those things in the industry, though, because you're always gonna have challenging customers. You're always gonna have people always mess up. People, I mean, not always, but there are people mess up.
Yeah.
Yes, no one's perfect. So I mean, having that in my head, like as a security blanket, like I know people mess up, so I can't get mad about it, and it's like because I mess up. I'm sure, you probably never messed up, right?
Never.
Okay, good. Yeah. See, I knew.
Definitely not here yet.
Yeah, no. So right? It's just one of those things. Like, you will get those things that make you kind of like, they exhaust you, or they get at you and they'll bug you, and then you might not sleep at night because of it. But then all the other positive things from this industry, like, pay for themselves. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just like all the other cool people you meet. Because I mean, today we met how many different couples?
Oh my
Can you
gosh.
keep it straight? Because I can tell
Are
you.
we including Robin and
her co-pilot?
yeah, her little geez, no. I think it's like
There's 5 different groups today. We met in store, and then we went and did a measure
Yeah.
as well. So it would be 6 different groups of people, 6 different families,
yes.
6 different walks of life, 6 different situations.
Yeah. All good sense of humor.
All good
of them
sense of
with a
humor.
good sense of
Because
humor.
most people come here knowing they need something. We know they need something, obviously. So we don't have to make it a high pressure situation. Truth podcast.
True, a podcast about honesty.
There you go.
That's basically it. I mean, thank you, Gabrielle, for first of all doing this. I know it's not easy to, or not. I guess it can be a little comfortable for you to like appear in instances like this. So we appreciate you for giving this a go. Did you like this?
Yes.
I probably should ask you that made
Hold on a second. Yes, no one's holding anything to her right now. No one. She is safe.
I just get nervous when I'm recorded with anything.
Oh yeah.
I haven't posted on Instagram in a year. And I don't even have a Facebook, so like
Oh, we'll fix all those things. We'll get rid of the camera shyness. I don't know. Yeah, we'll get rid of it all. It'll all be good.
I mean, when I go
But
to
thank you, Gabriella. Yeah, seriously. Go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
no, I mean just even karaoke. It's like I prefer like the Korean karaoke places where nobody can. I sing by myself.
Oh,
I sing
those
to
are
myself.
so fun though.
Yeah.
Those are when you have the little groups.
Yeah.
When you have those are so
Yeah, where it's
fun.
like this.
I like to have cocktails and little like hors d'oeuvres and stuff and sing some karaoke, all full belly, full drinky.
Yeah.
That's a good day. Where's a good one of those around here?
Jaguar Bar.
Where the hell is that?
Jaguar Bar at Oakland, Temescal.
Oh, right by the, oh, that's
Yeah, you
around
can bring
the
in
way.
your own food. You can bring your own food in there.
Company trip? Company field trip? I can't sing worth a hoo-ha.
Oh no, I can't say that.
I have a
We'll make it
karaoke
happen.
playlist. I'll share it with you guys.
We're gonna have so much fun. Okay,
This is,
so let's end this and we're gonna go to a karaoke bar.
all right, see y'all.
All right.
Bye.